f1, queen h3 check. So I think I better not plan on playing king f1. I mean, bishop c4 and king f1. Even that I can do, though. I mean, my king has actually got coverage from pieces that can go on the e-file to block checks. I could castle queenside later, or I could castle either way, actually. Or just leave my king in the center in some lines. You know what I just realized, folks? I have some potential, like with checks on h3, but still he's starting to take that piece. So I have to defend against the threat of queen takes d5. Though it feels like I should have some tactics here. There's some interesting ideas, like rook c1. Rook c1, queen takes d5, bishop h3 check. f5, only move. No, I don't know what I'm thinking there. Yeah, rook takes c6 check, queen takes c6 check. Doesn't really look like it's quite working. Giving up too much material in that line. Knight e3 I can play. Knight c3 I can play. These kind of ordinary moves. Knight c3. And the other thing is he has bishop b4 check, which could be really annoying. That's a case for playing bishop b4. It's also a case for not retreating my knight, I think. So I'm leaning toward bishop c4, I guess. What about knight takes d4? Then I have queen d3, I guess. It's going to get pretty dodgy, but it seems like white should have the better of it here. It feels like I should be close to some sort of sacrificial win, but it's just not there. Rook c1. I don't see how it works. I want to make rook c1 work. Queen takes d5. I don't see it. Bishop c4 it's a little awkward. I could walk into knight a5 in some positions. I was thinking about that line, actually. Bishop c4, knight a5, rook c1, when I sack my queen. But he has rook e8 check and things like that, so. In any case, bishop c4, I have to make a move. I don't know. This is a position for like a really tactically oriented player. He played knight a5. And now I was talking about rook c1, seriously. Well, first of all, let's look at that line I said. Rook e8 check. Yeah, if rook c1, rook e8 check, I have bishop e2, discovered check. Which should be pretty good for white, I would imagine. If rook c1, knight takes queen, rook c1, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, check, queen c6, and it looks like I've lost the exchange for not a whole lot in that position. So, unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like rook c1 is going to cut it. What else can we do? Well, as I said, the alcohol discussion is interesting, and I I've certainly had mixed results with playing chess under the influence of alcohol. But I think we can all safely say that it has to be like used in moderation. Knight a5, bishop b5 doesn't look good. Queen d3, I guess, is our safest move. But I feel like we've really let black off the hook here. Knight a5, how can this be okay for white? For black, what am I saying? How can this be okay for black? Queen b6. Wow, queen b6 is a sweet move. Pawn takes b6, knight takes b6, mate. Threatening his knight. When he takes on c4, I have crazy ideas. But he literally has a million moves, like queen b6, queen e6 check, for example. So, I'm afraid I just have to, like, play some kind of compromise here. What about moving my... No. Queen b5, it loses a piece. I guess I have to play queen d3. I just hate doing this. I really feel like I missed it, you know, some kind of win. I feel like I missed some kind of clear win. And now black is okay. So, you guys will let me know after the game what I missed, okay? Don't tell me now. But I am 99% sure that this position had to be winning for white somehow. Queen c3 was mentioned. I don't think it makes any difference. I think he'll take on c4 anyway. He can try other moves if he wants, but I mean, objectively, I think black has to play queen. Knight takes c4. I don't think queen c3 is going to lead to any different result here than knight takes c4. Queen takes c4 check. Queen c6. And that's the interesting position. Maybe I can keep up some small edge. After takes c4, queen c6, rook c1. Rook c1 looks a little hard for black to meet. But I don't know what else he can do. I mean, position is pretty dangerous for black. It's at least as dangerous for black as it is for white, if not more so. Mikloping says he doesn't think this is equal. Okay, well, I hope not, but we'll see. It feels like white should have the better game, but it also feels like I made a mistake, you know, and I might have missed something obvious. I don't know. You know the classic mate, if I had a bishop on a6 and there was no b7 pawn? That's the kind of tactical line that I feel like there should be in the position. Set up some kind of bishop a6 type of mate with the two bishops, but didn't see it. I guess black might have other moves here. But anyway, I mean, it seems like rook c1 is going to cause a lot of problems for black. So, everybody that doesn't know me, I'm International Master William Pascal. I was just talking about this with myself. You know, bishop d6 is a move. It looks dangerous because of the c file, though. You know? But he's covering, you know, his diagonal, so I guess it's playable. He doesn't trade pieces, and he leaves the knight on a5, which seems a bit on the dodgy side. But his structure is sound. And he's guarding the b8 square. Bishop b5. Queen e6 check. Although there, yeah, I'm not crazy about that. Maybe I should avoid exchanges. Hobie's got way more time than me. I don't really want to trade pieces here, Hobie. Bishop e5, queen e6 check. The knight is a bit weird out there on a5, isn't it? Rook c1. I'm going to have to make a decision. My pieces are precariously placed. What am I going to do here? No, don't give me time, dude. No, it's okay. Don't need it. He gave me more time. Not necessary. So, bishop b5, queen e6 check. That doesn't look good. Could play queen e4 there. Bishop b5, queen e6 check, queen e4. Bishop takes f4, knight takes f4, queen takes e4, pawn takes e4. Actually, bishop b5, rook e8 check is another line. Alright, let's see. I don't know. My bishop is like hanging on c4. This is debatable. I didn't really want to trade queens, but on the other hand, I didn't like my bishop hanging on c4. Rook c1 check doesn't look like it does anything. It just forces him to go to the right place where his king is super safe on b8. So I didn't see any reason to chase him. What I'm trying to say is I didn't see any reason to chase him to b8. Now queen e4. And I thought this ending should be unclear, because if he takes on f4, I take with the knight, and then he takes on e4, I fix my pawns. So I thought it's possible I'm slightly better in this ending after he fixes my pawns and my king is in the center. That's about as deep as I analyze this. He has other moves as well. My king can castle obviously either side, depending on the situation. But I evaluate this ending as rook takes d4. Rook takes d4. No. I mean, here I'm winning the exchange, so I don't think you should do that. The knight is bad on a5. Check. No, Hobie, I think you should just trade queens and take on d4. Maybe you accidentally reverse the order of moves that you meant to play. But I thought it was a pretty tense game. Mikleping, yeah, that's the point. Yeah, he should just take on d4. What do you think about that, Mikleping? I don't know. Looks like it's kind of hard to say who's better. Now, what do I do? Bishop d7. Knight f6. Bishop takes e6. I better be careful here. I don't try to overreach. He's just down an exchange, though. Maybe I don't have to be too fancy. If he plays knight f6, instead of trying to... Wow, this is better to play knight f6 there, I guess. This looks like lost for black. So, you should take the pawn on d4, and then here, instead of knight